Good day, all. Captain Klesnik here, starting episode 4 of my Enigmatica 9 series. Hope everyone's doing well. Between episodes, I did a few things. First of all, I went ahead and made myself a redstone furnace from thermal, which is pretty much just a normal furnace. Doesn't use as much power to smelt items as the induction smelter, which is good for the moment because we don't have a lot of power. I moved this Tinker's Workbench over because it was sucking up all the power. To allow the Tinker's Workbench to hold more power, by the way, I made an augment, which is called a stabilized RF coil. It's not that hard to make. I made 2 of them, actually. One of them, which I put into my flux capacitor, which now allows it to hold up to 9 million RF. And now the Tinker's Workbench can hold up to 6 million RF. Eventually, when I have more power supply for this, I will take advantage of it. So I have a little bit of power here, just to show you what you can do with this. I also went mining, spent a little bit of time using the new flux bore from Thermal, and it was so nice. Great way to go collecting resources, and as you can see now I have lots more resources. Like these are all blocks of raw copper, blocks of uranium, blocks of raw zinc. You get the idea. I'm probably going to need more iron today and some more gold. So what I will do is I've set this up over here with a hopper. So I'll put the iron in. Oh, I guess I have to configure this to allow input from the top. Blue is input, and I'm going to say push the output to the right. And over here in my redstone furnace, I will accept input from the left. Oh, I guess when you don't have these buttons, it passively receives things from the top. So the hopper is actively pushing it in, so it doesn't need to be set to auto input. But on the other hand, if I want this to automatically output it to the right, I can turn this on. And now, the iron dust that's getting made at a better yield than just smelting it by default is being turned into iron ingots. And I think over in the technology drawer, I've got a few more chests. I can just plunk a chest up on top of here and set this one to auto output. And there it goes. This is going to run out of power, so I better grab a little more charcoal and just set that going in there. Okay, what else did I do? So each of these units have their own little power storage. This has a large power storage. It can hold up to 6 million RF, but it would be nice to have some sort of a buffer, a battery of sorts that can hold power here in large quantities and deliver it as needed to all these different devices at a very high rate. So this is generating slowly, it can build up and then pass it along quickly. Now to do this, Thermal has something called an energy cell. Oh, I actually have the recipes up for it over here. So it's called a redstone flux cell. The redstone flux cell has a few items, including a redstone flux cell frame. The frame is easy to make. Electrum, by the way, is just made from silver and gold in the induction smelter. So that's easy. But this rubber is a little bit tricky. So to make rubber, what you can do is, in an induction smelter, you need to take rubber and sulfur, which I have a lot of sulfur collected from all my mining, and the two can be burned together to generate cured rubber. All right, how do you make the rubber then? There's a thing called a fractionating still. A fractionating still, which is from thermal, can take latex and convert it into rubber with a little bit of water excess. So, how do you get latex? Latex can be made a number of ways. One of them is using a fluid extractor from a mod called Industrial Foregoing. Since I haven't started in that mod yet, I'm not going to use that one yet. But there's another one which is called Arboreal Extractor, which is from Thermal itself. That takes a jungle tree, and when you plunk one of these devices down on the tree, it slowly extracts latex. These are not hard to make at all. These are all very easy components. So between episodes, I planted a jungle tree, put on a couple of cocoa beans on it as well, and on the back side of it, I plopped down an arboreal extractor, which is continuously, very slowly pulling out latex from this tree. It's an indefinite source, takes a long time, but since my server was running overnight, as you can see, we had 2 fluid cells that were rewards from the thermal quests that we completed. This one, I put in a reinforced integral augment, which increases it by 3-fold, which means that it can hold 96 buckets of latex. And there's another one down here that has no upgrades, so it can hold only 32 buckets. So this is collecting the latex. I attached to the other side of this water wheel another gear and pump, which slowly pumps any latex that goes in here into this one. This one, if you look at the inputs, if you notice, it has input on the right and output on the top. The output I'm setting to auto output, so it is putting extra up into this top cell. And actually, if anything that comes in goes up to the top one first. But when this one fills up, it then continues filling this one down here. This one is on the top, has an input set from the bottom. In case this wasn't clear, this is the front, top, bottom, left, right, and this is the back. Blue is input, orange is output. So we're collecting latex, and we have enough in which to make some rubber, which will allow us to make an energy cell. So to make a fractionating still, let's just do this real fast. This is going to need some Invar, some copper, and a machine frame. So I have some machine frames at this point. Do I have any more Invar down here? I do. I'm going to need some iron nuggets as well. And I don't think that's going to be enough Invar. So to make Invar was iron and nickel. I've got some nickel. So what I'll do is grab some of this iron that I've smelted up and oh, I forgot that it produces 2 Invar for every iron and nickel. That should be enough. I can then run over here, make a fractionating still. I need a little bit of copper, and let's make these. Make another one. Grab some copper. And some redstone dust. Make a flux coil. And then we can make a fractionating still. And the fractionating still we can then put over here. Okay, so let's run over here and grab this fluid cell. Whoops. We don't want to break this whole thing. So this flux drill again has 3 modes. It can be set to drill a 3x3, a 5x5, or a 1x1. The V key allows you to switch between the various modes. So I'll set this to 1x1. Grab that fluid cell with 96 buckets. And I'm going to just drop this on top here. And I'll specify that I want to auto input from the top. And we will start making rubber. So how much do I need to make a redstone cell frame? So I need 4 cured rubbers, which in the inductions needs 2 rubbers to make 4. So that's plenty. All right. One problem with thermal is that if you don't have enough energy to complete a job, it keeps resetting the processing. It's kind of a nuisance unless you have enough power. I'm going to stop using this. Oh, it'll be nice when we have a nice battery there. Well, better sleep through the night. Critters are starting to wake up. So, let's see if we have some sulfur over here. We do. I think we can now go over to the induction smelter and put the rubber. And we've got 4 pieces of cured rubber. Excellent. Let's see what the reward is. Or a raw ore. Happy about that. Yes. Flux cell frame. We need electrum. So for this we need some gold and some silver. Have I made any silver? I don't think I have. So here's some raw silver. I think we'll just make 8 for now. Into the induction smelter. We'll put 6 gold and all right, that should be enough electrum. And now, fingers crossed, we can make an electrum gear. Indeed. We have some lead. Oh, getting mixed up. There's my lead. Redstone flux frame. And the redstone flux cell needs another coil and a redstone block. Do I have any gold left? Don't think so. These sources are easier to come by now, so I'll just smelt a whole bunch of these. In fact, I'm just going to make a few more of these. And a redstone flux cell. Good deal. Alrighty. What's the reward that... Huh, they gave us a holdings enchantment. Well, that's nice, actually. Can we make an anvil to apply that enchanted book? 1, 2, 3. Anvil. Anvils are used to apply spells to objects. So if I put the redstone flux cell, which can hold 1,000,000 RF, and put holding 4 on it, it'll be able to hold 3,000,000 RF. And then grab my magnet. Let's just set this to take input from the top and power out to the right. And now I think we can put back in the coal. I don't need this for the moment. What I really want to do is be starting to charge up a buffer here. We're first filling up our induction cell. Oh, forgot to get the reward for this. Away, 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 away. Good. And now our cell is charging up and will give us a nice hefty buffer for driving all these devices when we need it. All right. I think that I'm going to go ahead and burn a bit more coal. I can always go mine and collect more later, since it will now no longer be going to waste. Good. Now we can finally get to work on making a tree farm, which is something I've wanted to do for some time. So to make a tree farm, we have brass, but we need quartz. If we want quartz, that means that we need to go to the nether. I'm scared, but I think it's time for me to finally make a trip out there. So if I'm going to do that, more hardened glass. I'm going to prepare a little bit more. First of all, I've collected a number of diamonds. I think I'm going to make my first diamond sword, because I will feel a little more comfortable if I do that. Okay. In addition, I'd like to make some sort of gold armor to convince the piglins there that I'm just one of the guys. Alright, that piece of headwear is about to fall apart, so I think I'll make myself a golden helmet. Golden helmet of Mondrino, there can be no hat like thee. Gold star, if someone can figure out where that's from. Any enchantments? I guess I'll save them. Right, golden helmet is on. And I think I can specify that I still want to see my goggles rather than the helmet. Good. Stash this away for now. All right. So, last time we made some obsidian, which is somewhere here, I thought. Oh, let me sleep through the night. Is it in here? Where did I put it? There. Whoops. All right. I think I'll set this up a little bit away from my base so it doesn't have a constant noise going on. This seems like a good spot, doesn't it? So, okay, here we go. Where the heck am I? Brimstone Caverns. Oh boy. Alright. I'm not a big fan of where I am, but I came here to get quartz. And there does seem to be quartz right here, which is good. So this biome does give me quartz, which makes me a happy camper. Let's see if I can just get in, get some quartz, and get out of here alive for now until I get some stronger gear. Brimstone is a pretty cool material and can make yellow nether brick. Maybe I'll save that. I've got one more slot in my pocket storage. Okay, let's go see if we can find some more quartz up here somewhere. These are some of my favorite materials, actually, in this biome right here. Maybe I'll chop a few of these. Stay on target. Quartz, quartz. I need quartz. Quartz. Don't mind me. Not looking at the eyes of the Ender and alerting him to my presence. Those are nice. We can grow our own. Back home, potentially. Nothing to see. Nothing to see. Peaceful guy. Not bad. Got 57 pieces of quartz. And there's my portal down below. And out. Whew. I can breathe a little bit easier. Put this into the tree section. Oh, nether rack, of course. I should make a slot for this. I've used up all my slots. How much does it cost to make a pocket storage tier 3? 4 diamonds. I want it. Cool. So now these can hold 32 different items and 65,000 of them. All right, let's get started. All my ingredients that I have so far are over here. I'm going to need andesite alloy. I'm probably going to need gears. And we'll have to see what happens beyond that. Okay, so to make a tree farm, we're going to need to have deployers, which are these things which are going to plant our trees, which is going to need brass hands, and is also going to need electron tubes, which require polished quartz, which I'll show you how to make that in a second. We're going to need saws. Saws from Create will chop down trees all in one fell swoop from the farm that we make. We've got andesite casings already. I think I'm going to start with making... Oh, we're going to need to make those portable transfer units. What are they called? These things. So we're going to need that, which means we're going to need our chutes. Whoops. Why don't I put down my knapsack? Excuse me, my sleeping bag, so I can sleep through the night immediately. Hope that creeper doesn't notice me. So let's see what we can start making. We can get rid of this, 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 this. At some point I want to make a time in a bottle, but I'm going to wait a little bit more. So we're going to need... Do we have some chutes? We do, and I'll grab the andesite casing as well. As I said, I need 2 of these. I think I'm going to want to make 3 or 4 mechanical saws, which means I need some more iron plates. I'm going to go ahead and start smashing the 16 that I have here, and I'll go grab some more iron as well. Alright, saws. I think I'll make 4 of these, and you'll see why in a little bit. I'd like to make 3 brass hands and 3 deployers. So 3 times 4 brass sheets means that we need 12 pieces of brass that are smashed into plates. Perfect. And deployers are going to need electron tubes, as I said, which requires iron sheet and polished red quartz. I need some sand and some paper. I've got some sand, and I think I love my flux magnet. Alright, let's just take 32 of these. Nope. We want to make paper, which I think is by doing that. Okay. Out of the way. We'll also need some sandpaper, which is made from sand and paper. Oh, they don't stack. I'll make 2 of them for now. So, to make electron tubes, you need to make polished red quartz. And the way you do that is by holding a rose quartz in one hand and sandpaper in the other, and you can polish it. So let's make some rose quartz. want more than that, so I'm going to go grab some more redstone. Eventually you can automate this entire process, but now if I take the paper out of my hand, put the sandpaper in the offhand, and go over to the rose quartz, I can polish by holding the right mouse button. Alright, looks like I can get 8 from one piece of sandpaper. Do 8 more for now. Good enough. So now, can I make electron tubes? Yes, I can. And I'm going to need a bunch of these, so I'm going to make all 12. And from there, we can make 3 deployers. Excellent. Okay, after a bit of thought, I've decided that I want to set this tree farm up over here on this side of the furnace. You have some trees growing here anyways. So what I figure I'll do is I'll grow the trees over here, have them harvested, and then they will carry the resources back along a conveyor belt over here to where I can store them for future use. That sounds reasonable. Now, one of the things that I like to do is, in addition to storing extra logs for building purposes, I like making lots and lots of charcoal. So I started to clear this area of any grass, but before I go and actually start placing all the dirt down to make it all level, well, let me think about this for a second. It'll connect. It can then drop down onto a belt which is carrying things this way. That could work. So maybe what I'll do is just level this field a little bit. Okay. I can build this over here. This is fine. Now, set this back to 1x1 mode. We're going to have power coming in from here. We could easily just run it down into the ground and direct it over here to where we want it. I think I'll just run it right here, a belt. Again, working my way backwards. So if I put a nice long belt, I can make it shorter later. Take a mechanical belt, right click, that's established. Oh, it's the first time I've done that. So I think a chute is going to be dropping items down from the tree farm onto this belt. The belt will then carry it along where it can get processed or stored. So let's build a number of barrels. Be right back. And what I will do is I'll put a series of barrels down. Oh, that reminds me, something that we wanted to make as well are something called funnels and brass funnels. Funnels allow you to direct whether items can go horizontally in or out of storage containers. And brass ones, I'm going to make a few andesite funnels because we might need them. some dried kelp. Okay. I've got some kelp growing over here in the water somewhere. Kelp is something that you need to put in a smoker rather than... Normally you can just drop it in a smelter, but oops. Let's turn off this for a second. Not that one. That one. If you put them into the lava stream, they will burn up. If you put them into the campfire stream, they should convert into dried kelp. There we go. I think I'm going to make myself another crafting station over here. So like I said, I wanted to make a few andesite funnels. And let's see if we can make brass funnels. We can. Maybe one more than I wanted, but that's okay. So the brass funnels will attach onto here. Grabbing our wrench. Make sure these are all facing in by right-clicking them. So that will draw items into the barrels. And here's where you have little filters for what can go in there. So what's going to come down off this line when we're chopping oak trees are going to be oak logs. I'm going to put the oak logs in last, actually, and you'll see why. We're going to get sticks. We're going to get apples, and we're going to, I think that's it, actually. Do I have an apple in here? I do. That'll be a reasonable start. Do I have some cobblestone with me? I do, but yet another reward. Oh, that's actually a nice one. I'll just put this down here for the moment. You'll see what that's for later. I don't think I'm quite ready to have this one here. And last but not least, I wanted to build a furnace that this will take logs into as well. I'll make this a little shorter. If you right click with your wrench, it'll shorten the length of a belt and move the shaft back one spot. So I think what I'm going to do is so extra logs will go in through the top. Oh, I have an idea. Let's Let's extend this back again. You can do that by just grabbing your belt and right-clicking that. All right, let's see if we can make a brass tunnel instead. Excellent. Okay, let's add a second belt here. And place our brass tunnel on. Brass tunnels take input on one side and can split the output to multiple sides, or multiple lanes, I should say. It can also go out the sides too, which is kind of nice. Just going to make a little more room here for myself so that it'll be easier for me to access the filter. Put an extra barrel back over here. I'll change the filter to only allow oak logs to enter. And it'll send oak logs out both of the other lanes on the other side. Let's just check the setting, holding the wrench in hand. You can rotate the middle mouse wheel to change the settings. Okay, that looks pretty good actually. Make that one a little longer. Start leading this up. I can extend the belt by again right-clicking with a belt connector on one end, moves the shaft and makes the belt line a little longer. And now I should be able to connect these to the furnace that I made to make charcoal for me. Oh, there's the furnace. I think that'll work. All right, let's get this barrel up on top of the hopper, which will draw logs down into the furnace from the top. Just put an andesite funnel that'll take logs and draw them into the barrel, and the barrels will then drop it down. And with another andesite funnel there, logs are coming on the side will come in and provide the fuel. Just need to sleep for the night. Waiting for the sun to go down. Okay, I'm starting to make some progress here. So here's what I'm envisioning. Tree Farm is going to be collecting logs, sticks, apples, that sort of a thing. It'll drop it off here through this chute onto this belt. The belt will carry the items down where apples will get stored away in here, sticks will get stored away in there, logs will get stored away in there. But then when we have excess logs, it'll then carry it along and allow logs to go into this brass tunnel, which will split the logs so that it goes out two pathways. One will go up and into this barrel where it allows to be funneled down into the top of this furnace, and the other will send the logs down over to here where it will provide fuel. And this should give me a nice infinite supply of charcoal. At least that's my hope. To get stuff out of this, I guess what I'll do is I'll just put a barrel here. And I'll put the charcoal into the barrel with a funnel or something like that. Either a funnel or a hopper. That's easy enough. All right, so now working backwards, we're going to want to have the tree farm deposit all of its contents into here. So, did I make one of these portable transporting units? There they are. So portal units, when you have them facing the right way, will allow items to be transferred to it. So for now, you can leave 1 or 2 spaces and plunk that down. And we're going to build our harvester as part of this device over here. We'll glue it all together at the end. So, what I'll do is I'll build the mechanical saws in a row like this, and I'll put my deployers in the back. When I find them, there they are. Oh, at this point I should go and grab some saplings. So the deployers normally are used to drop or place items onto conveyor belts or into machines, or in this case, onto the ground if we place saplings. So, oh yeah, got plenty of saplings. This is good. So to make sure that only saplings go into these deployers, I will put filters that say in this contraption, as we collect wood and sticks and apples and saplings, only put the saplings in here. And in fact, that's one more thing that we should probably put storage in for, is extra saplings in case we need them as well. So I'll just put down a barrel. Do I have one more brass funnel? I do. So I'll put that down there, flip the direction of it, and put an oak sapling right there. So oak saplings will collect. Okay, marvelous. Now, going further back, I'm going to need a few items. I guess we can just place 3 andesite casings. When I've built these farms before, they often keep breaking unless you have all these deployers and saws 3 blocks away from the central axis. So I don't know why that's the case, but I'll use it. That'll be fine. And last but not least, we can put a barrel on as part of this device as well. So now this has to be attached to a radial chassis. Let's see if I can make one of these right now. I can make 3 of these right now. And we need to make a mechanical bearing, I think they're called. Yeah, so there's 3 kind of bearings in Create. One, which is a windmill, which takes power from a windmill that you set up, and it turns it into rotational power. A mechanical bearing will just take rotational power that's coming in from a shaft. I think I'm going to do it with that because we have this nice power supply over here. So make that. It is very easy. And so I think if I just plunk that down, let me just make sure this is configured correctly. This is where you can set that when the machine is rotating around. If you stop the rotation, does it stop in the same position it started every time, or 90-degree rotations, or at any arbitrary rotation? But when it stops, it never becomes a solid entity that you can manipulate. So you wouldn't be able to open up the barrels by hand and so on and so forth. I'll let it stop in any 90-degree angle, which is the default. To get power down into this, I'll dig a little tunnel. Well, let's see first if we can get power into this guy. So, I think I'll do it over here. Let's dig a tunnel. We'll fill it in later. Alright, I think this is where the power's coming in from, out of the power plant. It is. So what I will do is put a shaft. I think at this point I have enough to start making some gearboxes. Let's see how many I can make. I can make 6. So let's put one down there and rotate it so that it's coming down and it'll come out this way. While we're at it, we'll put another gearbox here and rotate that so it goes down. Right, we're rotating the incorrect direction. So we got to flip it. And I guess the easiest way to do that is just one more gearbox. I hate to use so many, but all right, that's coming in. Now if I put a shaft in there, those are now all rotating the right direction. Excellent. So now let's get some power in over to here. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is put this in here. So now that's going the right direction. And we have here we go. Last vertical gearbox. Actually, this would be a good place to add a clutch so that I can turn on and off this tree farm easily enough. I'll put the clutch in place. With my lever. Alright, I hope that would attach, but I guess it didn't, so I need to make a slime ball, because I haven't gotten any yet. But none to worry, we can make them. Remember that cactus farm? So cactus can be burned in the lava stream. Magnet off, magnets off. This makes green dye. Make some bone meal, which can in turn be made into white dye. And white dye and green dye gives you lime dye. And what do you do to make a slime ball? What's that recipe? Lime dye and dough. Dough is just wheat flour. Oh, I gotta pulverize it first. Oh, I can make a milling stone. And then I can mill some wheat. Sorry about that. Little tangent here. Need some stone. I'll place that right here. Got one barrel left. Yeah, why not? Let's go make some hoppers. Do I have any chests left? I got 2. In fact, I've got 2 hoppers left. 4. So that can go down. Oh, I need to grab some wheat. Good enough. Start that grinding. Reward for a clutch. I don't even know what I got. I guess I got one of these. Let's get some water. And now, I think if we mix... what was it for a slime ball again? I need to make dough first. And then dough and lime dye, slime balls. And with the slime ball, I can make a super glue, one iron plate and one iron nugget. Alright, I'm hoping this will allow me to glue this all together out to there. Alright, let's turn it on and see what happens. Can I specify for this to go in the opposite direction? I can either use another gearbox, or I can just flip it and make it go the other way. Well, let me just go make some more cogs. I need planks. Gearboxes. Oops, not bad, but I need to be careful. In fact, that's going a little too fast for my personal tastes. So I think what I'm going to do is just turn this off for a second. Let's just go ahead and slow this down coming into here. I used up all my gearbox, my cogwheels. Okay, so if I go from the small to a big, that slows it down. And then if I go, leave a little bit of room. All right, that slowed it down quite a bit. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's not bad. Can still get hit, but so we'll just turn that off for a second. Now the last thing I need to do is load up the saplings. And make sure there's enough soil everywhere for this to work. And finally, I'll put some water in holes close to where the trees are growing, so they'll grow faster. Let's see what happens if we turn it on. Got some saplings, got some soil all over everywhere. And go. What? Huh? That is weird. That's strange. I'm going to take a few minutes to figure this out. I'll be back. Okay, we have a little bit of progress. What I did is I unclaimed the chunks where the tree farm is. I just cleared all these ones away by right-clicking them from there. And then the machine started placing saplings as it should, as you'll see when I come out of this little hole. Trees would grow, they would get chopped down, and the logs, saplings, apples, twigs are all being filed away as they should. I would like to see if this smelter will work, so I'm going to send a few logs down over here. I'll just flip the direction of this brass funnel so that the logs will come out rather than going in. They should hit this brass tunnel and get divided to go out the two different routes, one which goes into the furnace's fuel. Whoa! Oh, hello there. Hang on a second. I've got this. Honestly, I could use the gunpowder too. Okay. As I was rudely interrupted from saying, we now have logs going up to the top and in through this side, so the furnace is burning. So what caused this problem in the first place? those areas being chunk loaded specified that the lands were owned by me and could not be modified by any other players on my server. The problem is, I guess the machines were considered other players, or there was no way that the server could tell that the machine was owned by me, and so therefore it couldn't modify the ground and plant saplings. So there is an option to FTB chunks, which is responsible for all this, that allows you to specify that machines can make changes to areas that are claimed by a player. Honestly, though, I think I'll leave this for now. This episode has gone on for a long time already, so it seems like it's a good place to wrap up. I'll figure that out and tell you what I find when we come back together again for the next episode. Hope everyone enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.